Well, hi everyone, this is DearMamaSal, and I've just stopped. I'm probably 10 minutes away from the Canadian border, and it made me think that I should talk to you a little bit about what I do when I'm traveling. I will always stop at this particular rest stop on the way home for obvious reasons. One is to take a rest stop because you never know how long you're going to get caught in the border, regardless of what the border lineup information might say. Something could happen and you could end up in the border lineup for a long time. So I always like to stop at the border, at least one rest stop away from the border, so that I can get perfectly relaxed and take a quick potty break, and also apparently put my lipstick on. And I'm going to get out my passport, going to get whatever I brought with me. For example, I was given a bottle of wine, so I'm going to get that in a nice easy place to show them when they ask me, am I bringing anything back, so that there is no sort of major stress when I'm actually crossing across the line. And I really recommend that. Take 5 minutes and just make sure you got your passport. That the other thing I like to do is I know what sort of questions they're going to ask, where have I been and why, and just make sure you know how to answer those, because they're important things. And the more easily you can answer them, the more quickly you're probably going to get through the border. If you have to think too hard, they're wondering why you have to think hard. And I found at my age, it really helps to take a little bit of time just to get that one straight in your mind. So it's been a very enjoyable trip so far. I've still got a little way to go. And I'm very grateful that I am nice and close to the border, and now I'm on what I call the last leg to get home. Yay, we like that. So remember that when you're traveling. I like to do my travel in little bits, right? I try not to drive for more than an hour, maybe an hour and a half max, without taking a break. I don't take a long break. I literally take a pit stop break, but what it does, it gets you out of the car and you get to walk, get some circulation going. And to just take it easy. I find it's a bit like going away for a weekend, right? If you go away for a weekend, it feels like you've been away for a month sometimes. So just a quick break every hour and a half, you feel so refreshed and so much better. It just is really good. I'm tired today, I've noticed that. About half an hour ago I'm going, wow, I'm really surprised how tired I feel, and yet I had a good night's sleep. But what I did, as you all know, well, those of you who've been following this trip, I pushed myself and my body pretty hard last night by doing a speech, and my body will complain about that for a few days and apparently tell me it's tired. So that's why I like to travel in daylight, get home and get everything back into the house. I don't have to have it all unpacked perfectly. Just get it back into the house, and then I'll take the things that need to go where they need to go, and then I'll worry about unpacking it, in small doses as I walk around my house tonight. So take it easy when you're traveling. Traveling is stressful enough. Even if I love traveling, actually. The journey to me is as interesting as, the destination. always has been. And I think that's why I've always enjoyed being somebody who takes my trailer out, because the actual journey of getting there, to me, is part of the fun of it. Although, once I'm there, I'm quite happy to sit and park for a week and not move. And there's some people that, that would be so boring after a couple of days. And to me, nope, that's not boring at all. As long as I am somewhere where I feel safe and comfortable and it's not too noisy, I'm quite happy. And this is the first trip I've done away with my, what I call my Darth Vader mask. And that went quite well. I was quite surprised. I took my distilled, you have to feed it with distilled water. And I took a mason jar, actually a spaghetti sauce jar, bottle, well washed obviously, filled with distilled water rather than take a jug of distilled. But other than that, that's the only difficult thing about it. The rest of it all packs into its own little suitcase, so that's fine. But I can see if I were traveling overseas or anything, that would be quite heavy to take with me. But what choice do I have? I did sleep incredibly well while I was away, which again surprised me as well. So I am apparently not too far from the border, and there's less than a 5-minute lineup. Yay! And here we are back at the border. I always love this part. There's the Peace Arch. And up there is Canada. So, nice trip. So far, so good. And here is just a little bit extra on the end of this part of the video to tell you that sometimes you just have to chuckle. I don't know, for those of you who travel a great deal, there's such a thing as a nexus line going through the border, which means that you've gone and got special clearance and done all sorts of things, and it's a really fast way to go through the border, as opposed to those of us who don't have it, who have to wait in line. Well, here was the incredible thing. Today, you can tell I'm amused, right? Well, anyway, today here it was, incredibly long nexus line and 2 cars at the border. So I just literally, by the time I actually got to the border, the car ahead of me had already moved forward, and so I had literally a 30-second wait, I think, or something, to cross the border while there were lines of people waiting to go through Nexus. I don't know why that amused me so much, but in life, be amused with the little things. It keeps you so much healthier. I am certain that there will be times when I come through the border this summer where I will regret not having Nexus. But quite honestly, I don't go through enough. To really make it a big pain. If I had to go through pretty regularly, I would definitely go and do all the paperwork and get that done. But most times, even if I have to wait, excuse me, even if I have to wait an hour at the border in the middle of summer, so be it. Not the end of my world, I must admit. I am pretty good. Now, here is the thing: when I go through, and this is also important to talk reality. When I go through with my trailer next week, or this week, later this week, I know that I will be asked to stop, and I know they will go through my trailer. There is a 90% chance that will happen, because obviously a trailer could be carrying contraband, it could be carrying people into the country, it could be doing all sorts of things, right? And so I totally expect them to put me through secondary inspection when I'm hauling a trailer. And I don't get upset about it. I just go, no problem. I try and do what I can to make sure that it's clear of all the things that they don't want you to be carrying. as I found out the hard way, you know, there's certain fruits and vegetables that they really don't like. So what I'm inclined to do now is cross the border with an almost empty fridge and then buy the rest of the stuff once I cross the border. And while I'm talking like that, I'm just thinking to myself, rats, I forgot to pick up milk on my way in, because I thought I'm bound to pick up milk on the way into Canada. And so I'm nearly out of milk at home, but never mind. Plan B. That's what I have milk powder for, right? So, been a great trip. I am very close to home and feeling good. I know I'll sleep well, and it'll be nice to be able to get back to my Wi-Fi. I found out my Wi-Fi is not bad. But you have to go away to find out how much you like your Wi-Fi. If that makes any sense to you. It's just like, oh right, this is going to take a little longer. But luckily, yeah, so what? You guys know I'll get what video I can out to you, and what I can't, I'll not worry about. So, this is DearMamaSal saying, great trip, thank you for traveling with me, and hope that you've enjoyed little bits. I know I haven't done as much as usual, but I really have to say that when you are the guest of other people, it's much more difficult. Much more difficult to, you know, get the footage that you would normally get and get the uploading and everything done. So I did the best I could, and I know that's all you guys would ever ask of me. This is DearMamaSal saying bye-bye for now.